Force binds all things across the galaxy, connecting every living being in an invisible web of destiny. But on this day, something tore through that web, something that defied every law the Jedi had spent millennia understanding. No hyperspace signature registered. No ship appeared on any scanner from here to the Outer Rim. Yet 7 figures fell from the sky above Coruscant, trailing fire and impossible energy, as if the universe itself had rejected them from another reality entirely. If you want to see more characters enter the Star Wars galaxy, hit that subscribe button and drop the name of a character you'd want to see in the comments below. May the Force be with you. The dimensional rift sealed behind them with a thunderclap that shattered windows across 50 levels of the city planet. Superman tumbled through Coruscant's atmosphere, his cape snapping like a war banner as he oriented himself mid-fall. The sun, no, suns, he realized with growing concern, felt wrong against his skin. Twin stars blazed in this system, but their radiation spectrum was alien, leaving him feeling as though he'd just run a marathon. Still strong, still fast, but not invincible. Not here. League, sound off. His comm crackled with interference. Flash here. Whoa, this place has a lot of traffic. Barry Allen blurred between speeder lanes, his red suit leaving crimson lightning trails that confused 1,000 navigation systems. The Speed Force felt distant, like shouting across a canyon, but he was still faster than anything in this bizarre city. Cyborg operational. Victor Stone's sensors went haywire, analyzing the technological signatures surrounding him. I'm detecting energy patterns I've never seen. Plasma weapons, some kind of artificial gravity manipulation, and, am I reading this right? A planet that's entirely city. Everyone converge on my position. Batman's voice cut through, always calm, always in control. We need answers before we're perceived as a threat. Wonder Woman spiraled downward with practiced grace, her eyes scanning the endless cityscape with tactical precision. The lasso of truth glowed at her hip, and she felt no diminishment of her divine strength. Whatever had brought them here, Hera's blessing remained constant. Green Lantern. Hal Jordan formed a glowing platform beneath Aquaman, whose expression suggested extreme displeasure at being thousands of miles from any ocean. The ring hummed with power, though Hal felt a strange resistance, as if the universe itself was questioning his authority here. They landed on a Senate District platform as Republic security speeders surrounded them, weapons charging. Clone troopers in white armor took position, their movements precise and identical. Through his cowl's sensors, Batman cataloged their equipment, energy weapons, some kind of plasma technology, sophisticated but not beyond his understanding. Stand down, Superman said, raising his hands in a peaceful gesture. We're not here to fight. Identify yourselves. A clone commander's voice was steady, despite facing 7 unknown entities who'd just fallen from the sky. Before Superman could answer, the air shimmered. 4 figures materialized as if stepping through invisible doorways. Jedi, though the League didn't know that word yet. Mace Windu stood at the forefront, his hand near the cylindrical weapon at his belt, purple blade unignited but ready. Beside him, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Kit Fisto, and Shakti spread out in a practiced formation. The Force is turbulent around you, Mace Windu said, his deep voice carrying absolute authority. You are not Sith, not Jedi. What are you? Batman stepped forward, cape settling around his shoulders. We're from somewhere else, somewhere very far away. We mean no harm to your world. Your world appears to be at war, Wonder Woman observed, noting the military vessels in high orbit and the clone troopers everywhere. As a warrior born, she recognized the signs. Obi-Wan stroked his beard, studying them with curious eyes. The Council will want to speak with you. This is unprecedented. He gestured to the clone commander. "Stand down, Commander. We'll escort them to the temple." As they moved through Coruscant's traffic lanes in a Republic transport, Flash couldn't stop staring. "Okay, seriously, is anyone else seeing the flying cars and the aliens and the laser swords those guys have?" "Lightsabers," Cyborg corrected, his systems having already intercepted and translated local data streams. "I've accessed their information network. This is insane. We're in something called the Galactic Republic. They've been fighting a war called the Clone Wars for 3 years. Those soldiers we saw, they're all clones of one guy." "Clones?" Aquaman's expression darkened. "An army of identical warriors. There's no honor in such uniformity." Batman was silent, his mind already working through implications. A republic at war, clone armies, and these Jedi who moved with supernatural awareness. The tactical situation was more complex than any battlefield on Earth, and they'd arrived with no intelligence, no preparation, and powers that might not function as expected. Superman gazed at the twin suns setting over the endless city, feeling their unfamiliar radiation wash over him. He was still incredibly powerful. He tested his strength catching a falling speeder during descent. But there was an uncertainty here he rarely experienced. The Jedi Temple rose before them, a massive ziggurat of ancient stone and wisdom, standing defiant against the modern sprawl. As they approached, every member of the Justice League felt it. Something momentous was about to happen. They'd crossed dimensions to arrive at this exact moment in this galaxy's history. They just didn't know yet that they'd arrived mere days before the greatest betrayal the galaxy would ever witness. The Jedi Council Chamber was a circular room of perfect symmetry, with tall windows overlooking Coruscant's endless expanse. 12 seats formed a ring, though only 7 were occupied. The war had scattered the council across the galaxy. Grand Master Yoda sat in his chair, ancient eyes studying the 7 newcomers with an intensity that suggested he saw far more than their physical forms. Superman stood at the center, aware that every Jedi was watching them with senses beyond normal perception. He could hear their heartbeats, elevated but controlled, could see the slight tension in their postures. These were warriors evaluating a potential threat. "Interesting you are," Yoda said, his voice carrying centuries of wisdom. "From beyond the known galaxy, perhaps? No, further. Beyond this reality itself, I sense." Batman's eyes narrowed behind his cowl. The small green being was more perceptive than he'd anticipated. "We come from another universe," Wonder Woman said, her voice clear and honest. As an ambassador trained in Paradise Island's diplomatic traditions, she knew the value of truth. "Through an accident involving technology beyond even our understanding, we seek only information and, if possible, a way home." Another universe. Mace Windu's skepticism was evident. "The Force shows me truth in your words, yet such a claim defies comprehension. We've known travel between star systems, between sectors and regions of our galaxy. But between realities? Your Force," Green Lantern said, his ring glowing softly. "Is that what I'm feeling? Like there's some kind of energy field connecting everything here?" Ki-Adi-Mundi leaned forward, his elongated head tilting. "You can sense the Force? Impossible. You have no midi-chlorian count in our records because you have no records at all. Yet you clearly possess abilities beyond normal beings." Flash phased slightly, his molecules vibrating. "Where we come from, we call them meta-human abilities, alien physiology, or in my case, connection to something called the Speed Force. Different source, maybe same result." Cyborg's optical sensors flickered as he processed the temple's data networks. "With permission," Batman had insisted. "If I'm reading your databases correctly, you're in the 3rd year of a galaxy-wide conflict, separatist forces versus the Republic. Billions dead, thousands of worlds in conflict. The war has been costly, Obi-Wan admitted, his weathered features showing the strain. We Jedi serve as generals. Though peace was always our mandate, the Separatists forced our hand. Did they? Batman's question carried weight. Who started the war? Silence fell across the chamber. Several Jedi exchanged glances. The Separatists attacked, Mace Windu said firmly. They created a droid army and attempted to assassinate Senator Amidala. The Republic had no choice but to defend itself. With a clone army that appeared at a remarkably convenient moment, Batman continued, his detective's mind already identifying inconsistencies. An army commissioned by a Jedi Master who died years before anyone knew war was coming. Yoda's ears lowered slightly. Troubling questions, you ask. Questions we have asked ourselves. Aquaman crossed his arms, his regal bearing matching any king in this chamber. In Atlantis, when armies appear from nowhere and wars erupt without clear cause, we look for those who profit from the chaos. Who gains from your Republic's suffering? We're not here to judge your conflict, Superman interjected, ever the diplomat. But we fought wars on our world. We know how complicated they become, how the reasons for fighting can be obscured by the fighting itself. Shakti's montrals tilted as she considered the strangers. Your powers are formidable. We witnessed your arrival. The energy readings were unlike anything recorded. Superman lifted a cargo freighter with one hand. Flash moved faster than our sensors could track. And you, Batman, somehow avoided every security system in the Senate District. Batman said nothing, but the Jedi saw the slight acknowledgement in his posture. If you possess such abilities, Mace Windu said carefully, the question becomes, what will you do with them? The Republic could use allies of your caliber. The Separatists would pay any price to recruit you. The war hangs in delicate balance. We don't take sides in wars we don't understand, Wonder Woman stated firmly. But we do stand against tyranny and injustice wherever we find it. Noble words, Obi-Wan said with a slight smile. Though I suspect you'll find both sides believe they fight against tyranny. The Separatists claim the Republic has become corrupt, too centralized. The Republic argues that the Separatists would fracture the galaxy into feuding territories. Then perhaps both are right, Green Lantern suggested. Happens more often than people think. Yoda rose from his seat, his Geimer stick tapping against the floor as he approached Superman. Despite the Kryptonians' towering height advantage, the Grand Master's presence filled the room. A disturbance in the Force, I sense, growing stronger each day, darkness rising, clouding everything. Your arrival, no accident it may be. Guided here by the Force itself, you might have been. For what purpose? Superman asked. No, I do not. But trust in the Force, I do. Watch you, we will. Trust you, we cannot yet. Too much at stake. Too close to something momentous. The word hung in the air like a prophecy. You'll permit us to remain? Batman asked. Under observation, Mace Windu said. Jedi will accompany you. You'll have access to Temple archives and Republic resources, but your movements will be monitored. If you prove to be threats, you'll do what you must, Superman finished. We understand. We do the same. As the Council dismissed them, Cyborg caught Batman's eye. The Dark Knight gave the slightest nod. They'd learned much in this meeting. But Batman had learned something else. Something he'd noticed in the way Mace Windu's hand kept drifting toward his lightsaber, in the tension behind Yoda's ancient eyes. The Jedi were afraid, not of the Justice League, of something else entirely. Night fell over Coruscant, though the planet city never truly slept. Bruce Wayne stood on a temple balcony in his civilian clothes. The cowl drew too much attention for what he needed to do. Below, trillions of lives moved through their routines, unaware that their world balanced on a knife's edge. He'd spent 3 hours in the Jedi archives, reading everything available about the Clone Wars' origins. The gaps in the historical record were glaring to a detective's eye. The convenient timing. The mysterious Jedi Master Sifo Dyas, who'd commissioned the clone army a decade ago. The Sith, ancient enemies of the Jedi, who'd supposedly been extinct for a millennium, but whom the Jedi now believed had returned. Too many questions, not enough answers. "You should be resting," Obi-Wan Kenobi said, stepping onto the balcony. The Jedi moved with remarkable stealth, but Bruce had heard him coming. "Your bodies may need time to adjust to our galaxy. Can't sleep in unfamiliar territory." Bruce kept his gaze on the city. "Tell me about Chancellor Palpatine." Obi-Wan's posture shifted almost imperceptibly. "The Chancellor is a complicated figure. He's led the Republic through the war with remarkable skill. The Senate granted him emergency powers to prosecute the war effort. Emergency powers that keep expanding." "Yes," Obi-Wan admitted. "Some on the Council have concerns, but he's promised to surrender those powers once the war ends. How many leaders in history have made that promise?" Bruce turned to face the Jedi. "How many kept it?" Obi-Wan studied him with those sharp, tired eyes. "You think like Master Windu, suspicious, calculating. I think like someone who's seen corruption destroy good institutions from within." Bruce gestured to the Senate building in the distance, its domed structure gleaming. "Your Republic is 3 years into a war that appeared from nowhere. Your Jedi Order, peacekeepers for 1,000 generations, are now generals. And one man holds more power than any chancellor in your history. If I were trying to destroy a democracy, this is exactly how I'd do it." "The Sith," Obi-Wan said quietly. "You believe Darth Sidious orchestrates more than just the Separatists." "I don't know enough yet to believe anything, but I know what patterns look like." Bruce pulled a small device from his pocket, Wayne Tech, modified by Cyborg to interface with this galaxy's systems. "I'm going to the Senate building. Alone. I need to see Palpatine's records." "That's illegal, even for us." "Then you should stop me." Bruce pulled his cowl from inside his jacket, the transformation instantaneous. Batman stood where Bruce Wayne had been. "Or you can trust that I've been doing this longer than you've been alive." Obi-Wan was silent for a long moment. Then, "If you're caught, the Jedi Council cannot protect you. The political situation is too delicate." "I won't be caught." Batman fired his grapnel, the line catching a Senate district tower. As he swung into the Coruscant night, Obi-Wan watched him go, one hand on his lightsaber, not in threat, but in thought. The Jedi had said to watch them. He hadn't said to stop them. The Senate building's security was impressive by this galaxy's standards. Energy shields, automated turrets, clone trooper patrols, and biometric scanners at every entrance. Batman bypassed them all with a combination of patience, technology, and 3 decades of experience infiltrating places he wasn't wanted. Cyborg's interface device let him speak to this galaxy's computer systems. The architecture was different, but the principles remained. Databases had vulnerabilities, security systems had blind spots, and every network left traces. He ghosted through the Chancellor's administrative wing, studying the layout. Palpatine's office was at the center, a massive chamber with panoramic windows overlooking the city. Too exposed for a midnight infiltration, but the administrative servers nearby would contain everything he needed. Batman connected his device to a terminal, letting Cyborg's programming work its magic across dimensional barriers. Files streamed past his cowl's display, budget allocations, military orders, Senate communications. Then he found them. The encrypted files, military-grade encryption, layered protocols, and access restrictions that required clearances higher than most senators possessed. Batman smiled grimly beneath his cowl. People didn't hide things this carefully unless they were worth finding. He deployed a decryption algorithm modified from cyborg systems. It would take hours, time he didn't have, but he could copy the encrypted files and decrypt them back at the temple. "Working late, are we?" Batman spun, batarangs already in hand. A figure stood in the doorway, young, intense, with a mechanical right hand and robes marking him as a Jedi. But there was darkness around him, visible even without this galaxy's force sensitivity. "Anakin Skywalker," Batman said, recognizing him from the temple. "The Chosen One. That's what they call me." Anakin's hand drifted toward his lightsaber. "What are you doing in the Chancellor's administrative wing?" "Investigating." Batman didn't move, reading the younger man's body language. Ready for combat, but not committed yet. "What are you doing here?" "I could ask the same question. These files are sealed." "Which makes them interesting." Batman's cowl sensors analyzed Anakin's biosigns, elevated stress hormones, sleep deprivation, and something else. Fear, deep and constant. "You come here often, to see the Chancellor?" It wasn't a question. Anakin's micro-expressions confirmed it. "He's my friend, my mentor." Defensive now. "He's the only one who—" Anakin stopped himself. "The only one who what? Trusts you?" "Believes in you." Batman took a calculated risk. "The only one who doesn't seem afraid of your power?" Anakin's eyes flashed. "What do you know about it?" "I know what it's like to have abilities others fear, to be watched constantly, suspected, judged." Batman's voice softened marginally. "I know what it's like to be told you're special, while simultaneously being told you're not allowed to use that specialness in ways that feel natural." "The Jedi don't understand," Anakin said, the words spilling out. "They preach about the Force, about balance, but they're terrified of passion, of emotion, of connection. The Chancellor understands that power isn't something to be feared, it's something to be used." Warning bells rang in Batman's mind. He'd heard similar rhetoric before, from people like Ra's al Ghul, from those who believed the ends justified any means. "And what does the Chancellor want you to use your power for?" Anakin's expression shuddered closed. "You need to leave. Now, before I report this to the Council." "Will you? Or will you report it to Palpatine?" Batman held his ground. "You're torn between two masters, Skywalker, the Jedi Council and the Chancellor. Eventually, you'll have to choose." "I don't have to choose anything." Anakin's lightsaber ignited, blue blade humming with plasma energy. "Leave, now!" Batman calculated his odds. The lightsaber could probably cut through most of his armor. Anakin was force-sensitive, which meant enhanced reflexes and precognition. But the young Jedi was emotionally compromised, conflicted, and tired. "I'm leaving," Batman said, backing toward the window. "But Skywalker, when the moment comes, when you have to choose between what you're told is right and what you know is right, remember this conversation. Remember that someone tried to warn you." He fired his grapnel and vanished into the Coruscant night, leaving Anakin alone with his lightsaber's blue glow and the encrypted files he'd somehow failed to stop being copied. Anakin stood there for a full minute, saber still ignited, wondering why he'd let the stranger escape, wondering why the man's words had resonated with his own doubts, wondering why he hadn't mentioned this encounter in his next report to the Chancellor. Barry Allen moved through Coruscant at a speed that made the planet city blur into streams of light. 3 days in this galaxy, and he still marveled at the sheer scale of civilization. Back home, Metropolis and Gotham were massive cities. Here, the entire planet was one continuous urban sprawl stretching from pole to pole. But it wasn't the architecture that fascinated him now. It was the soldiers. Clone troopers were everywhere. patrolling streets, guarding buildings, staffing checkpoints, and manning military installations. All identical, all moving with the same efficient precision, all seemingly content with their purpose. It disturbed him more than he wanted to admit. "Cyborg, you getting this?" Flash subvocalized through the League's comm system, modified to work across dimensional barriers. Loud and clear. "Barry?" Victor's voice crackled slightly. "What am I looking at?" Flash stood on a military platform overlooking a clone garrison. Thousands of white-armored soldiers moved in perfect formation. "That's just it. You're looking at thousands of the same person. Same DNA, same training, same everything. It's like an army of photocopies." "Ethically questionable, I'll grant you," Cyborg replied. "But the Jedi seem to trust them. They've been fighting alongside clones for 3 years without major incident." "Maybe." Flash vibrated his molecules, phasing through the platform and into the garrison's command center. Security cameras couldn't track his speed, and guards saw only a brief red blur if they saw anything at all. But Batman taught me to look for what's out of place. And you know what's weird? I haven't seen a single clone trooper disobey an order. Not one, not even hesitate. They're trained soldiers, Barry. I've seen trained soldiers. Hell, I've worked with Steve Trevor and his people. Even the most disciplined troops occasionally question orders, crack jokes, show personality. Flash moved through barracks, observing clone troopers in their downtime. They maintained equipment, studied tactical scenarios, trained, efficient, uniform. These guys are like biological machines. It's creepy. He paused in a medical bay, watching a clone receiving treatment for a blaster wound. The trooper's expression remained stoic as a medical droid worked on his shoulder. "How long until I can return to duty?" the clone asked. 48 hours, the droid responded. "Unacceptable. The 501st needs every soldier for the Outer Rim campaign." 6 hours. "Your tissue regeneration. 6 hours." The clone's voice carried absolute conviction. "We were made for this." Flash felt a chill. Made for this. As if fighting and dying was their only purpose, programmed into their very DNA. He moved deeper into the facility, searching for medical records. If Bruce's paranoia had taught him anything, it was to investigate things that seemed too perfect. An army of identical soldiers who never questioned orders, never rebelled, never showed independent thought beyond tactical efficiency. It was too convenient. "Victor, I'm sending you clone medical data. Scan for anomalies." "On it." Silence for several seconds. "Barry, these files are locked behind some serious encryption. I can break it, but it'll take time and... Wait. That's not possible." "What's not possible?" "I'm detecting organic chips in their brain tissue. Every single clone has one. It's integrated into the inhibitor chip they supposedly use to regulate aggressive behavior. But the file structure suggests it's far more complex than behavioral modification." Flash's blood ran cold. "Chips in their brains? Victor, that sounds like..." "Remote control," Cyborg finished grimly. "Or at least remote influence. I'm trying to access the chip's programming, but the encryption is layers deeper than anything else in the Republic database. Someone really doesn't want this information accessible." Flash phased through walls, moving toward the garrison's central communication array. "Can you trace who has access to those chips?" "Working on it. The authorization trail is... Barry. This goes all the way to the top. The Chancellor's office has override codes for clone contingency protocols. I'm seeing references to something called Order 66 in the encrypted files Batman lifted, but I can't crack them fast enough." "Order 66? That sounds ominous." "Everything about this is ominous. We're looking at an army of mind-controlled soldiers with kill switches in their heads. And the guy who controls those switches is the same guy who's been accumulating emergency powers since the war started. Flash stopped moving, standing perfectly still in the middle of Coruscant's traffic lanes. Speeders whizzed past him, missing by inches, but he didn't notice. His mind raced faster than his body ever could. "Victor, we need to tell Superman and the Jedi, right now." "Agreed. But Flash, we're going to need proof, hard evidence. Otherwise it sounds like paranoid conspiracy theory." "Then get me that evidence. I'll run reconnaissance on every clone facility on this planet if I have to." Flash accelerated, becoming a red lightning bolt that crisscrossed Coruscant, documenting patterns, recording data, building the case. Because if his suspicions were correct, the Republic wasn't just fighting a war against separatists. They were sleeping next to a loaded gun, and someone had their finger on the trigger. In the Jedi Temple, Diana Prince stood in the training courtyard, watching young Padawans practice lightsaber forms. Their dedication reminded her of training in Themyscira, though these children seemed burdened by responsibility beyond their years. "They fight well," she observed as Shakti approached. "They must. The war has stolen their childhood." The Togruta Jedi's montrals drooped slightly. "Many have already seen combat. Many have watched their masters fall. Then the war must end. If only it were that simple." Shakti gestured to a bench, and both women sat. "Master Windu is investigating your companion's unauthorized infiltration of the Senate building last night." Diana showed no surprise. "Batman operates in shadows. It's his nature, but his intentions are pure. Intentions matter less than actions when those actions violate Republic law." Shakti's expression softened. "Though I confess, part of me admires his boldness. The Jedi have become too cautious, too political. We sense darkness rising, but take no action beyond observation." "Why not?" "Because we serve the Republic, and the Republic is governed by laws and senators who care more about their next election than preventing catastrophe." Bitterness crept into Shakti's voice. "We've become generals in a war we never wanted, and I fear we've lost sight of what it means to be Jedi." Diana placed a hand on the Jedi's shoulder. "My people have a saying. In war, everyone loses something. The question is whether what we preserve is worth more than what we sacrifice." Before Shakti could respond, Flash materialized in a blur of red lightning, nearly knocking over 3 Padawans. Sorry. Is Superman here? We have a problem, a big problem." Diana was already standing. "Barry, what did you find?" "Chips in the clones' brains. Millions of soldiers with biological kill switches, and the Chancellor controls them." The words tumbled out at super speed. "Cyborg's cracking the encryption now, but it looks like some kind of contingency order system. The clones can be activated to do something. We don't know what yet, but it's not good." Shakti's expression transformed from diplomatic calm to warrior alertness. "Are you certain?" "Cyborgs trace the authorization codes. The evidence is solid." Flash's eyes darted to the Padawans training nearby. "How many Jedi are with clone units right now?" "Thousands," Shakti whispered, the implications hitting her like a physical blow. "Across the entire galaxy, every Jedi general is surrounded by clone troopers." Diana's hand moved to the lasso of truth at her hip. "Then we need to warn them. Now." "The Council must be informed immediately," Shakti said, already moving toward the Council chambers. As they ran, Flash's mind calculated distances and response times. If the chips could be activated remotely, if every clone simultaneously received orders to, what? Turn on the Jedi, execute their generals. They'd arrived in this galaxy by accident. But now, standing on the precipice of revelation, Barry Allen realized that accident might have been the only chance this galaxy had. The only question was whether they'd discovered the truth in time. The Jedi Council chamber had never felt so tense. Superman stood at the center with Batman beside him, while Cyborg projected holographic data streams that filled the circular room with damning evidence. Clone medical records, encrypted authorization codes, biochip schematics showing neural pathway integration that went far beyond behavioral modification. Contingency protocols, Cyborg explained, his mechanical eye glowing as he manipulated the data. 150 orders embedded in every clone trooper's inhibitor chip. Most are standard military responses, formation changes, tactical retreats, emergency protocols. But Order 66 is different. Mace Windu leaned forward, his expression carved from stone. "Show us." The hologram shifted, displaying layers of encrypted code that even Cyborg hadn't fully cracked. "The encryption is military grade and then some, but I've accessed enough to know it's a termination protocol, and based on the neural pathways it activates, the targets aren't separatists." "Who then?" Ki-Adi-Mundi demanded. Batman's voice cut through the chamber like a blade. "You, the Jedi Order. Every clone trooper has a kill switch programmed to execute Jedi on command." Silence fell like a hammer. Several council members stood, hands moving toward lightsabers as if the threat were in this very room. "Impossible," Mace Windu said, though his voice lacked its usual certainty. "The clones have fought beside us for 3 years. They've saved Jedi lives countless times." "Which makes them the perfect weapon," Batman countered. "An army you trust completely, positioned alongside every Jedi in the galaxy. When the order comes, you won't see it coming." Yoda's ears drooped, his ancient eyes closing. "Feel it in the Force, I do. Truth in your words there is. Clouded, the dark side has made everything. See this threat? We could not." "But who would create such a protocol?" Obi-Wan asked, his voice strained. "Who has the authority to activate it?" Cyborg's projection shifted to display authorization codes. "The trail leads to one office, Chancellor Palpatine." The name hung in the air like poison. "The Chancellor." Shakti's montrals flushed with emotion. "He's led the Republic through this war. He's been our ally." "Has he?" Superman's voice remained calm but firm. "Master Yoda, you said you sense a Sith Lord manipulating events. The Jedi have searched for Darth Sidious for years without success. What if you've been looking in the wrong direction? You're suggesting the Chancellor of the Galactic Republic is a Sith Lord." Mace Windu's tone carried both skepticism and dawning horror. "That's exactly what a Sith Lord would want you to think," Batman interrupted. "Too impossible to believe, too positioned to investigate. Meanwhile, he's accumulated more power than any Chancellor in history, orchestrated a war that's devastated the Jedi Order, and placed millions of mind-controlled soldiers at your backs." Kit Fisto's tendrils twitched nervously. "If this is true, we must act. Confront him. Arrest him." "On what evidence?" Obi-Wan asked quietly. "Encrypted files provided by dimensional travelers we've known for 3 days. The Senate would never accept it. Half of them worship Palpatine as the savior of the Republic." "Then we need proof," Wonder Woman said, stepping forward. "The lasso of truth compels honesty from anyone it binds. If we can confront Palpatine with the lasso..." "He'd never allow himself to be bound," Mace Windu said. "And forcing it upon a sitting Chancellor would be seen as a Jedi coup. We'd prove every separatist accusation about our order seeking power." Yoda tapped his Geimer stick against the floor. "Careful, we must be. But act, we must also. Time, we may not have." "Then we split our efforts," Superman proposed. "Some of us work to decrypt Order 66 completely, find concrete proof. Others investigate Palpatine directly. And we need to warn the Jedi in the field without tipping our hand." "Warn them how?" Shakti asked. If we broadcast on open channels, Palpatine will know we've discovered his plan. He might activate the order immediately. Flash raised his hand. I can run messages, personally, to every Jedi in the Republic if necessary. I'm fast enough to reach them before any comm signal could be intercepted. Mace Windu studied the speedster. How fast? Fast enough. Barry's expression was deadly serious. Just give me the locations. Batman pulled a data chip from his utility belt. I'm uploading a subroutine to every clone command network I can access. It won't stop Order 66, but it might delay the signal by crucial seconds, enough for Jedi to react. You would hack our military systems? Ki-Adi-Mundi looked affronted. I already have, Batman said flatly. The question is whether you want my help or your pride. Obi-Wan stepped between them before tensions escalated. Master Windu, we must consider the possibility that our new allies are correct. The evidence they've presented aligns with too many of our own suspicions. Yoda rose from his seat with effort, as if the weight of the galaxy pressed upon his ancient shoulders. Trust them, I do. But verify, we must. Mace, Obi-Wan, Kit Fisto, investigate the Chancellor you will. Carefully, legally, but thoroughly. And if we find proof he's Darth Sidious, Mace Windu asked, then arrest him, you must. Yoda's eyes blazed with cold determination. And may the Force have mercy on us all, for the galaxy will not. Superman exchanged glances with his teammates. They'd come to this galaxy by accident, but now they were committed. Whatever happened next would reshape the fate of trillions. In his office across the city, Palpatine stood at his window, yellow eyes reflecting the setting suns. He'd felt the disturbance in the Force, new presences, powerful and unaligned. The Jedi Council was meeting in emergency session. Variables, unexpected factors in a plan decades in the making. He smiled beneath his hood. Variables could be eliminated. And if these newcomers forced him to accelerate his timeline, well, the Jedi would die all the sooner. Anakin Skywalker couldn't sleep. For 3 nights, the stranger's words had echoed through his mind. Eventually, you'll have to choose. The nightmares didn't help. Visions of Padme dying, visions of the Jedi Temple burning, visions of himself standing alone in the darkness with blood on his hands. He found himself walking through the Senate district at midnight, his path leading inevitably to the Chancellor's office tower. Palpatine had always understood him when the Council didn't, had always offered guidance without judgment, wisdom without the Jedi's restrictive codes. The Chancellor's office was dimly lit, the older man working late as always. He looked up as Anakin entered, his grandfatherly smile warm and welcoming. Anakin, my boy, you should be resting. The campaign on Megiddo requires fresh minds. I needed to talk to someone. Anakin slumped into a chair, exhaustion evident in every line of his body. The Council is keeping secrets, emergency meetings I'm not invited to, conversations that stop when I enter rooms. Palpatine set down his datapad, giving Anakin his full attention. They've always feared your power, Anakin. You know this. It's more than that. Anakin's mechanical hand clenched. These strangers who arrived, the Justice League, Batman infiltrated your administrative wing. I caught him accessing encrypted files. Palpatine's expression shifted subtly, concern replacing warmth. Did you report this to the Council? No. Anakin felt shame and defiance warring within him. I don't know why. He said something that made sense. About being torn between 2 masters. Wise words for a vigilante. Palpatine stood, moving to the window. And yet he breaks our laws, invades the Chancellor's office, and sows discord. What else did he say? That I'd have to choose between what I'm told is right and what I know is right. Anakin joined him at the window. Chancellor, The Council doesn't trust me. They never have. I'm on the Council but not granted the rank of Master. They asked me to spy on you, my friend and mentor. They asked you to spy on me? Palpatine's voice carried hurt and disappointment. Anakin, that's troubling. The Jedi claim to serve the Republic, yet they investigate its democratically elected leader. I told them no, Anakin said quickly. You've been nothing but supportive. You've helped me see that the Jedi Code is flawed, that attachment and emotion aren't weaknesses, but strengths. Palpatine placed a hand on Anakin's shoulder. You're like a son to me, Anakin. I've watched you grow from a boy into the most powerful Jedi of your generation. But I fear the Order will never appreciate your potential. They're too afraid of change, too bound by ancient dogma. Sometimes I think about leaving, Anakin admitted. Taking Padme and just disappearing. Let the Republic and Separatists destroy each other. Let the Jedi keep their precious balance. You could never do that. You're too noble, too dedicated to protecting others. Palpatine's voice lowered. But Anakin, I must warn you. I've received intelligence that the Jedi Council plans to move against me. Anakin spun to face him. What? That's treason. They claim I've held emergency powers too long. That I've become a threat to democracy. Palpatine's expression was pained. Ironic, isn't it? The Jedi, who serve no electorate and answer to no oversight, accusing the elected Chancellor of tyranny. They wouldn't. Master Windu can be harsh, but he believes in the Republic. Does he? Or does he believe in Jedi supremacy? Palpatine moved to his desk, activating a holographic display. I've been investigating these Justice League members. Their arrival coincided exactly with increased Jedi Council activity. What if they're not from another dimension at all? What if they're separatist agents, and the Jedi are using them as an excuse to seize power? The suggestion wormed into Anakin's mind. He'd sensed no deception from Superman or the others, but he'd also been wrong before. Palpatine had decades of experience in galactic politics. What should I do? Anakin asked. Be vigilant. Watch them. And Anakin? Palpatine's eyes held his. If the Jedi move against me, if they attempt a coup, I'll need someone I can trust to stand for democracy. The Republic would need you. I serve the Republic, Anakin said automatically. Good. That's very good. Palpatine smiled. Now go, rest, and remember, when the moment comes, trust your instincts, not their dogma. As Anakin left, Palpatine's smile faded. The Justice League was a complication he hadn't foreseen. Their powers rivaled even his own, and they'd already uncovered too much. Accelerating the timeline was no longer optional. He activated a secured comm channel. Commander Cody, prepare to implement Order 66 on my signal. And Commander, ensure all units are ready. We may need to act sooner than expected. Yes, my lord, came the clone's mechanical response. Palpatine gazed at the Jedi Temple in the distance, its ancient spires reaching toward the stars. Soon those spires would be nothing but rubble, and the Jedi would be extinct. Unless these interdimensional heroes stopped him, which meant they'd have to die first. At the temple, Aquaman stood on a meditation platform overlooking one of Coruscant's rare water reservoirs. The artificial lake felt dead compared to Earth's oceans, but he could sense aquatic life struggling to adapt to their urban prison. You seem troubled, Obi-Wan said, approaching with 2 cups of Jedi Temple tea. Your entire planet is covered in metal and plasteel, Aquaman said, accepting the cup. Where I come from, the oceans cover 70% of the world. They're the source of all life. Here, you've buried them beneath cities. Coruscant has been the galactic capital for thousands of years. The price of civilization, I suppose. Obi-Wan sipped his tea. Though I confess, I've sometimes wondered what the planet looked like before the cities consumed it. It's not too late to find balance, Aquaman said. But it requires people willing to change, to sacrifice convenience for sustainability. We Jedi speak often of balance, the balance of the Force, light and dark. Yet I wonder if we've forgotten other kinds of balance. Obi-Wan's expression was thoughtful. Your Justice League, you serve your world, but no government controls you. We answer to our conscience and to the people we protect, not to politicians who might compromise our principles for expedience. The Jedi once operated similarly. Then we became the Republic's servants. Now we're generals. Obi-Wan's voice carried regret. I've killed thousands of beings in this war, Arthur. Destroyed battle droids, yes, but they were controlled by living commanders. Every tactical victory represents lives ended. How do peacekeepers reconcile such a thing? You question your path, that's healthy. Or it's doubt that will get my men killed. Obi-Wan set down his cup. Master Yoda has assigned me to investigate the Chancellor, to search for evidence he might be this Darth Sidious. But Anakin considers Palpatine a friend, a mentor. If I expose the Chancellor as a Sith Lord, Anakin will see it as betrayal. And if you don't expose him, the Jedi die. Quite the dilemma. Obi-Wan smiled without humor. In your world, have you ever had to choose between protecting someone you love and doing what's right? Aquaman thought of Atlantis, of the countless political struggles where duty and desire conflicted. Many times, the choice never becomes easier. But I've learned that protecting someone from the truth only delays inevitable pain. Better they face it with you beside them than discover your deception later. Wise counsel. Obi-Wan stood. I should prepare. Master Windu wants to move quickly. Kenobi, Aquaman called as the Jedi turned to leave. On my world, we have a saying. The ocean breaks the strongest stone with patience and persistence. Your Chancellor has stone walls around him, but water finds every crack. Obi-Wan nodded and departed, leaving Aquaman alone with the reservoir and his thoughts. Beneath them, in the temple's lower levels, Green Lantern worked with Kit Fisto to analyze the clone authorization codes. Hal's ring glowed as it interfaced with Republic systems, his will translating into constructs that could manipulate data as easily as physical matter. Your ring is remarkable, Kit Fisto observed, his perpetual smile tempered by concentration. It responds to thought alone? To will, Hal corrected. The Green Lantern Corps recruits beings who can overcome fear, who have the willpower to shape reality itself. The ring's just a tool. The real power comes from here. He tapped his temple. Not unlike the Force, our connection shapes our abilities, channels the energy that binds all things. Maybe. Hal created a construct schematic of the clone command network. But from what I've seen, your force is everywhere, connecting everything. My ring draws power from a central battery on a planet called Oa. 2 different sources, similar results, which suggests there may be multiple paths to the same truth. Kit Fisto gestured at the data. Can you trace which facility manufactured these chips? Working on it. The authorization trail keeps looping back to classified facilities on a planet called Camino. Ocean World, from what I'm reading. The clone homeworld, where the Republic's army was created. Kit Fisto's smile faded entirely. If the chips were installed during the cloning process, then this has been planned for over a decade, Hal finished. Your Sith Lord plays the long game. A proximity alert flashed on Hal's ring. We've got company. Multiple signatures converging on this location. Clone troopers, moving with purpose. Kit Fisto's lightsaber was in his hand instantly. That's not a patrol pattern. They're positioning for an assault. Throughout the temple, similar alerts were triggering. Batman's cowl sensors detected clone formations surrounding the building. Diana's warrior instincts flared as she noticed troopers taking up firing positions. Superman's hearing picked up the synchronized click of weapons being charged. In the council chamber, Yoda's eyes snapped open. "Begun, it has. The attack we feared." Mace Windu ignited his purple lightsaber. "Order 66? "No," Cyborg said, his systems tracking comm traffic. "Different protocol, but the authorization code. It's from Palpatine's office. He's ordered clone units to secure the temple. They're being told we're attempting a coup." Superman's jaw clenched. "He knows we discovered the truth. He's moving first." Outside, thousands of clone troopers advanced on the Jedi temple, their white armor gleaming in Coruscant's eternal lights. They moved with mechanical precision, surrounding the ancient structure from every approach. Inside, the Justice League and the Jedi Council stood together, united by circumstance and impending violence. The war had come home. The first blaster bolt shattered a temple window at 0200 hours. Within seconds, the night erupted into chaos as thousands of clone troopers opened fire on the Jedi temple. Blue plasma bolts streaked through the darkness like lethal fireflies, impacting stone that had stood for millennia. Superman caught the first volley with his body, shield himself positioning between the windows and a group of younglings being evacuated by their instructors. The bolts splashed against his chest, and though they stung more than Earth weapons, his Kryptonian physiology held. "Get them to safety." "All units, Code 913, a clone commander's voice echoed across comm channels. "The Jedi have committed treason against the Republic. Lethal force is authorized." Batman swept through the temple's upper corridors, directing Padawans towards secure routes while deploying smoke grenades and EMP charges. Clone troopers advanced in perfect formation, their shots disciplined and coordinated. He recognized professional soldiers when he saw them. These weren't men following orders reluctantly. Whatever programming controlled them had overridden any hesitation. "Cyborg, status," Batman demanded. "Trying to broadcast a counter-signal, but Palpatine's locked down the entire military network." Victor's voice was strained as his systems worked at maximum capacity. "I need more time." "We don't have time." Wonder Woman deflected blaster fire with her bracelets, each impact sending sparks flying. Beside her, Shakti's lightsaber wove patterns of blue light, batting bolts back at their sources. They're using the Jedi's trust against them. Half the younglings don't understand why the clones are attacking. Flash vibrated through walls, evacuating clusters of Padawans faster than the clones could target them. "East Wing is clear. Moving to the archives." In the council chamber, Mace Windu stood at the window, watching clone gunships circle the temple like vultures. His purple blade reflected in the glass, and his expression was carved from granite. "Yoda, we must break through their lines, reach the Senate, confront Palpatine directly." "Too dangerous," Yoda argued, though his lightsaber was already ignited. "Trap this is. Draw us out, he wants." "Then we give him what he wants," Green Lantern said, his ring blazing. "But not how he expects. Hal Jordan construct an emerald barrier around a group of younglings. I'll run aerial interference with Wonder Woman and Superman. The rest of you break out and go straight for Palpatine. You would risk yourselves for our order." Obi-Wan's voice carried both gratitude and concern. "We didn't cross dimensions to watch children die," Superman said simply. He turned to Batman. "Bruce, go. I'll coordinate the evacuation and hardwire Cyborg into the temple's communications array. If we can broadcast what's really happening, turn public opinion." An explosion rocked the temple's foundation. ATE walkers had arrived, their mass driver cannons reducing ancient stonework to rubble. Clone troopers poured through the breaches, their synchronized advance overwhelming isolated Jedi Knights. Kit Fisto met the first wave with fluid grace, his green blade a blur. Beside him, Aquaman fought with his trident, the weapon's Atlantean steel-piercing clone armor with brutal efficiency. "These men don't want to do this," Aquaman shouted. "I can see it in their eyes. They're fighting their own programming." "Then we disable, not kill," Kit Fisto called back, though both warriors knew that mercy might cost them everything. Above the temple, Wonder Woman and Green Lantern engaged the clone gunships. Diana's lasso snared a ship's wing, yanking it from the sky in a controlled crash that minimized casualties. Hal constructed a massive emerald net that caught 3 gunships simultaneously, lowering them to the ground as he disabled their weapon systems. But for every ship they stopped, 2 more arrived. The Republic had an army of millions, and they were all converging on this single building. Superman rocketed upward, his heat vision slicing through gunship engines with surgical precision. He could hear everything, the clone commanders coordinating attacks, the Jedi defending their home, the younglings crying in fear, and beneath it all, the twin suns' radiation slowly restoring his strength. A voice crackled across every comm channel simultaneously. Chancellor Palpatine's voice, calm and authoritative. "Citizens of the Republic, with great sorrow, I must report that the Jedi Order has attempted to assassinate your Chancellor and seize control of the government. The Jedi have revealed themselves as enemies of democracy. For the security of the Republic, the Jedi Order must be dissolved. I hereby authorize all military forces to execute Order 66. The words sent ice through Superman's veins. Across the galaxy, millions of clone troopers were receiving the same command. Thousands of Jedi, surrounded by soldiers they trusted, would be cut down in an instant. "Cyborg, tell me you got that broadcast blocked," Flash shouted, depositing another group of younglings in the temple's deep shelters. "Negative. The signal's going out on every military channel. Wait, I'm detecting massive casualties reports. Jedi signatures across the galaxy are being eliminated," horror filled Cyborg's voice. "Flash, they're dying, all of them. The clones are executing Order 66 everywhere at once." Batman's hands clenched. They'd known this was coming, had tried to warn the Jedi in time, but Palpatine had moved too fast. The contingency order was already activated. Mace Windu's expression became something terrible to behold. "Then we have nothing left to lose. Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, with me. We end this now." "Master, that's exactly what he wants," Obi-Wan protested. "Palpatine will be prepared. I don't care." Mace Windu's voice could have cut steel. "Every second we delay, more Jedi die. We end the Sith Lord, or we die trying." Yoda met his gaze, ancient eyes filled with sorrow and resolve. "Go, you must. But careful, B. The dark side clouds everything. More dangerous than you know, Palpatine is." "I've faced Sith Lords before." Mace Windu turned to the 3 members of the Justice League. "Can you keep up?" Wonder Woman's smile was fierce. "Try not to slow us down, Jedi." They launched themselves from the temple's highest spire, 4 figures streaking toward the Senate building, while behind them the temple burned. Batman watched them go, then turned to the chaos around him. "Cyborg, I need that counter signal now." "Working on it." "But Bruce, even if I break through, the clones might not be able to resist. The programming goes deep." "Then we dig deeper." Batman deployed every piece of tech he'd brought across dimensions, every innovation, every contingency. "Aquaman, Flash, expand the perimeter. Buy time. Obi-Wan, Kit Fisto, I need Jedi protecting the younglings. Yoda." "Know what I must do? I do." The ancient Grandmaster moved toward the temple's lower archives, where the oldest holocrons contained knowledge spanning thousands of years. If the temple fell, that knowledge must survive. The clones pressed harder, their numbers seemingly endless. For every trooper disabled, 3 more took his place. The temple's defenders were being overwhelmed by sheer attrition. Flash ran through the battlefield like crimson lightning, disarming clones faster than they could react. But even his speed had limits, and he felt exhaustion creeping in. The Speed Force connection here was still incomplete, draining him faster than it should. An ATTE Walker's cannon swiveled toward a group of Padawans. Flash saw it in slow motion, the weapon charging, the children too far to reach in time, the inevitability of tragedy. Then Aquaman was there, trident buried in the Walker's leg joint, his superhuman strength toppling the massive vehicle before it could fire. "Your younglings fight bravely," he called to Kit Fisto. "But bravery won't stop this army." "Then we must stop being brave," Batman said over the comm, "and start being smart." "Cyborg, are the deep shelters secure?" "Sealed and shielded." "The clones can't reach them without breaching 50 feet of reinforced stone." "Good. Everyone fall back to secondary positions. Let them think they're winning. Draw them deeper into the temple." Batman's mind worked like the tactical computer it was. "Then we collapse the entrance corridors and trap them inside. Use their numbers against them." "That will destroy the temple," Obi-Wan said. "The temple is already lost," Batman replied coldly. "The question is whether the Jedi survive." Above Coruscant, racing toward the Senate building, Superman heard the exchange through his comm and felt the weight of it. They'd arrived in this galaxy to find a way home. Instead, they'd walked into genocide. But if there was one thing the Justice League had learned through countless battles, it was this: you don't run from the fight. You don't abandon people who need help, even if it means standing against an army, even if it means facing a Sith Lord who'd spent decades orchestrating this moment. The Senate building loomed ahead, its domed structure glowing against the night. Somewhere inside, Chancellor Palpatine waited, and the final confrontation began. The Senate building's security systems didn't even slow them down. Wonder Woman's bracers shattered blast doors. Superman's speed carried them through corridors faster than alarms could trigger. Green Lantern's constructs neutralized automated defenses, and Mace Windu's lightsaber cut through anything they missed, his purple blade a streak of lethal purpose. Clone troopers in red guard armor attempted to block their path. The specialized Senate guards were elite, but they faced beings who'd fought gods and won. Green Lantern constructed a massive emerald hand that swept them aside without permanent injury. Wonder Woman's lasso-bound clusters of guards, compelling them to sleep. "The Chancellor's office is at the apex," Mace Windu said, his voice tight with controlled fury. "He'll be waiting." "Good," Superman replied. "I'm tired of being ambushed." They ascended through the building's central shaft, a vertical column that rose hundreds of stories. At its peak, massive doors bore the seal of the Supreme Chancellor. Beyond those doors, Palpatine sat at his desk, apparently reviewing reports with the calm focus of a dedicated public servant. He looked up as they entered, surprise flickering across his grandfatherly features. "Master Windu, what is the meaning of this intrusion and these strangers with you?" "Drop the act, Sidious." Mace Windu's lightsaber ignited, its purple glow reflecting in the Chancellor's eyes. "We know what you are. We know about Order 66. It ends now." Palpatine's expression shifted, surprise becoming confusion, becoming concern. "Master Jedi, I don't understand. I've just survived an assassination attempt by rogue Jedi. Now you burst into my office with weapons drawn. This is treason." "You're good," Wonder Woman observed, studying the Chancellor with an Amazon's trained eye for deception. "The hurt confusion, the wounded innocence. But I've met liars across 3,000 years. You don't fool me." "I don't know what propaganda the Separatists have fed you," Palpatine said, standing slowly. "But I assure you, I am loyal to the Republic. I have only ever served—" "Enough!" Mace Windu advanced, his blade raised. "I sense the dark side radiating from you like heat from a star. You are Darth Sidious, the Sith Lord who orchestrated this war. Confess, and perhaps the Senate will show mercy." Palpatine's expression finally changed. The grandfatherly mask melted away, replaced by something ancient and malevolent. His eyes shifted, yellow and reptilian, filled with power that made the room's temperature drop. "Mercy?" His voice deepened, became layered with darkness. "Oh, Master Windu, the time for mercy is long past." Lightning erupted from Palpatine's hands, not the blue electricity Superman knew, but purple-white force lightning that screamed with dark side energy. Mace Windu's lightsaber caught the torrent, the blade acting as a conduit that absorbed and redirected the attack. But Palpatine wasn't targeting just Windu. The lightning arced, splitting into multiple streams that lashed toward Green Lantern and Wonder Woman. Hal's ring flared, creating an emerald shield that held against the onslaught. Diana raised her bracelets, and the lightning earthed harmlessly into the Amazonian metal. Superman moved with Kryptonian speed, closing the distance between himself and Palpatine in a fraction of a second. His fist, capable of shattering mountains, drove toward the Sith Lord's chest. Palpatine caught it. The impact should have pulverized any human being. Instead, Palpatine held Superman's fist in one withered hand, the force reinforcing his physical form to impossible levels. Impressive strength, Kryptonian, but strength alone is nothing against the dark side. Force lightning erupted point blank, channeling directly into Superman. The energy was unlike anything he'd experienced, not just electricity, but concentrated malevolence, attacking his cells on a molecular level. He felt his muscles seize, his enhanced physiology struggling against power that defied physics. "Clark!" Wonder Woman's lasso snapped out, wrapping around Palpatine's arm and yanking him away from Superman. The lasso of truth glowed with divine light, and she felt it working, compelling honesty from whoever it bound. Palpatine screamed, not in pain but in rage, as the lasso's power tore at his deceptions. "Are you Darth Sidious?" Diana demanded. "Yes." The word was ripped from him against his will. "Yes, I am the Sith Lord who has ruled the Republic from the shadows for decades. I created the war. I orchestrated the Jedi's fall. And now I will create an empire that will rule for 1,000 years." Green Lantern recorded every word through his ring, broadcasting it across Republic channels. "Got it. The whole galaxy just heard that confession." Palpatine's yellow eyes blazed with hatred. "Then the galaxy will see what happens to those who oppose the Sith." He pulled against the lasso with impossible strength, the force howling around him like a storm. "I am the Senate. I am the Republic. I am the Empire." The dark side erupted from him in a nova of power. The lasso held for 3 seconds. 3 seconds of Diana's divine strength against millennia of Sith mastery, then shattered, its golden threads dissolving into motes of light. Wonder Woman staggered back, shocked. The lasso had never broken before. Never. Palpatine rose into the air, his robes billowing as the Force lifted him. "You dare challenge me? You who have been in this galaxy for mere days, think you can stop what I have built across decades?" Lightning exploded from him in all directions, forcing everyone back. "I have foreseen your arrival. I have prepared for every contingency. You are nothing but insects before the storm." Mace Windu leaped, his Vaapad lightsaber form channeling Palpatine's dark side energy back against him. The purple blade carved through the lightning, and for a moment, the Jedi Master matched the Sith Lord's strike for strike. But Palpatine was beyond any Sith Windu had faced. His movements were impossible, faster than the eye could track, his lightsaber appearing in his hand as if summoned from nothing. Red blade met purple in a clash that shook the office's foundations. Superman recovered, heat vision lancing toward Palpatine. The beams should have incinerated the Sith Lord, but a force barrier deflected them, bending the energy around Palpatine like water around a stone. "Your powers are impressive," Palpatine hissed, dueling Windu while simultaneously defending against Superman and Green Lantern's attacks. "But you know nothing of the Force. It is older than your universe, deeper than your comprehension. Through it, I can see every possibility, counter every attack, and crush every hope you possess." He wasn't exaggerating. Every move the Justice League made, Palpatine anticipated. Every strike was deflected or dodged. The Sith Lord fought 4 opponents simultaneously without being overwhelmed, his mastery of the dark side elevating him beyond mortal limitations. Green Lantern constructed a cage around Palpatine, emerald bars reinforced by will, strong enough to contain supernovas. Palpatine gestured, and the construct shattered like glass. "Your ring draws power from emotion. How quaint. But emotion is my weapon, fool. I have bathed in hatred for 70 years. Your will is nothing compared to my fury." Wonder Woman charged, her god-forged sword swinging toward Palpatine's neck. He caught the blade with his bare hand, force energy protecting his flesh from its edge. "Divine steel, I have broken gods, Amazon. Their faith meant nothing when I crushed their temples." He hurled her across the room with telekinetic force, her body cratering the reinforced wall. Mace Windu pressed his advantage, Vapad feeding on Palpatine's dark side power, growing stronger with each exchange. But even Vapad had limits, and Palpatine's power seemed bottomless. "You were a great Jedi, Windu," Palpatine said, their blades locked. "It's a pity you'll die with your order." "The Jedi will survive," Windu growled. "We always have." "Will they?" Palpatine's smile was terrible. "Even now, across the galaxy, your precious Jedi fall to my clones. Every general, every knight, every Padawan, executed by the soldiers they trusted. Your order dies tonight, and there's nothing you can do to stop it." Superman hit him from behind, moving at supersonic speed. The impact drove them both through the office wall and into Coruscant's open air. They tumbled through the sky, trading blows that generated sonic booms. Palpatine's laughter echoed across the city. "Yes, show me your strength, Kryptonian. Show me the power that makes you a god among your people." Lightning enveloped them both, and Superman gritted his teeth against agony that threatened to overwhelm even his incredible endurance. Below in the Jedi Temple, Batman heard the sonic booms and knew the confrontation had reached its crisis point. "Cyborg, please tell me you have that broadcast ready." "Almost. I'm using Palpatine's confession to override the clone command protocols, but the encryption fights me every step." Cyborg systems were approaching overload. "I need 30 more seconds." "We don't have 30 seconds," Flash shouted, dodging blaster fire while evacuating another corridor. "The clones are breaching the secondary defenses." Obi-Wan fought beside Kit Fisto, their lightsabers weaving protective patterns around the remaining Jedi. "Batman, we can't hold much longer." Yoda emerged from the archives, ancient holocrons floating around him through force levitation. "Fall back, we must. Preserve what we can. The temple is lost." Batman's jaw clenched behind his cowl. Losing was not acceptable. Losing was never acceptable. "Cyborg," he said, his voice cold and determined. "Upload everything to my systems. I'll finish the encryption breaking while you focus on broadcasting the message." "Bruce, that'll overload your cowl's computer. You'll be defenseless." "I'm a billionaire in an armored suit with no superpowers facing an army of mind-controlled clone soldiers in a galaxy I don't understand," Batman replied. I've been defenseless since we arrived. Now do it." As data flooded his systems, as the temple crumbled around them, as Superman fought a Sith Lord in the sky above Coruscant, Batman did what he always did. He found a way to win. Superman crashed through 3 skyscrapers, Palpatine's Force lightning scorching his skin with dark side energy that felt like acid in his veins. The twin suns had restored much of his strength, but this power, this malevolent, reality-warping energy, was unlike anything he'd faced. It didn't just harm his body, it attacked his spirit. "You're strong, Kryptonian," Palpatine said, hovering in the air as rubble fell around them. "But strength fades. The dark side is eternal." Superman's heat vision lanced out, twin beams of concentrated solar energy. Palpatine deflected them with a force barrier, but the effort showed in his strained expression. Good. Even Sith Lords had limits. Wonder Woman rejoined the battle, having recovered from being thrown across the Chancellor's office. She flew alongside Green Lantern, both attacking in coordinated strikes that forced Palpatine to divide his attention. Hal constructed a massive emerald hammer that swung toward the Sith Lord, while Diana's reformed lasso, the divine magic had restored itself, whipped toward his legs. Palpatine spun, his red lightsaber deflecting the constructs while Force lightning erupted downward. "Futile! I have spent decades preparing for this moment. The Republic is mine. The Jedi are dead or dying. You cannot stop what I have." Mace Windu's purple blade erupted through Palpatine's shoulder from behind. The Sith Lord screamed, genuine pain this time, as Vaphad's unique properties channeled his own dark-side power back through the wound. Windu had used the Justice League's assault as a distraction, circling through the shattered office to strike from the blind spot. "Your arrogance blinds you, Sidious," Windu snarled. "You monologue while warriors act." Palpatine's face contorted with rage. "You dare!" The Force exploded from him in a shockwave that hurled everyone back. His shoulder wound smoked, but was already healing through dark-side alchemy. "I am the culmination of 1,000 years of Sith planning. I am the end of the Jedi. I am..." Recorded and broadcast across every Republic channel, Green Lantern interrupted, his ring glowing. "Your confession, your plans, everything. The whole galaxy knows you're Darth Sidious now." Palpatine's yellow eyes widened fractionally. Then he laughed, cold, mirthless, victorious. "You think the truth matters? I control the military. I control the Senate. I control the narrative. By dawn, I'll tell the galaxy this was Jedi propaganda, and they'll believe me because they want to believe, because I saved them from the Separatists, because I'm the only thing standing between order and chaos." "Not anymore," Batman's voice crackled through their comms. "Cyborg just broadcast your confession alongside footage of clone troopers executing Jedi across the galaxy. Obi-Wan Kenobi on Utapau, surviving Commander Cody's betrayal. Yoda on Kashyyyk, defending Wookiees from his own troops. 20 different worlds, 20 different executions, all triggered by your Order 66. The evidence is overwhelming and irrefutable." Palpatine's confidence finally cracked. "Impossible. The encryption was broken by someone smarter than your programmers," Batman continued. "And I've uploaded a countersignal to the Clone Command network. It won't free them completely. The biochips are too deeply integrated, but it gives them seconds of hesitation. Seconds where their training and brotherhood with the Jedi can override your programming." "It won't be enough," Palpatine shrieked. "Even if some clones resist, even if the truth is known, the war has already weakened the Republic beyond repair. The Jedi are scattered. Democracy is a corpse. I've been puppeting for years. You've changed nothing." "We've changed everything," Superman said, rising from the rubble. His cape was tattered, his suit scorched, but his eyes blazed with determination. "Because now the galaxy knows. Now they can choose. and people who know the truth can't be ruled through deception. Palpatine's face twisted into something inhuman. Then they'll be ruled through fear. He raised both hands, and lightning unlike anything before erupted from his fingertips, a storm of force energy that turned the night sky purple, that made the very air scream with dark side power. Superman flew directly into it, his body absorbing the attack meant for millions below. The pain was transcendent, every cell burning, but he held his position. Behind him, Wonder Woman and Green Lantern joined, adding their strength to his, creating a wall between Palpatine's fury and Coruscant's citizens. "Now, Windu!" Superman shouted. Mace Windu had been gathering his strength, channeling every ounce of force energy, every lesson learned in decades of mastery. Viapad thrived on darkness, grew stronger when facing evil, and Palpatine was the most evil being the Jedi Master had ever encountered. His purple blade cut through the lightning storm like righteousness made manifest. The strike was perfect, decades of training crystallized into a single moment. It should have ended Darth Sidious, but Anakin Skywalker's blue blade intercepted it. Time seemed to freeze. Anakin stood at the shattered office entrance, his lightsaber crossed against Windu's, his face a mask of anguish and conviction. "I can't let you kill him," Anakin said, his voice breaking. "He's the only one who can save her." "Anakin, no!" Obi-Wan's voice came through the comms, the Jedi Master's horror absolute. "He's manipulating you." "Save who?" Wonder Woman demanded, still straining against Palpatine's lightning. "Padme!" Anakin's mechanical hand trembled. "I've seen it. Visions of her dying. The Chancellor knows the dark side, knows techniques that can prevent death. I can't let her die. I won't." Palpatine's laughter cut through everything. "Yes, Anakin. Strike down the traitors. Embrace your destiny. Only through me can you gain the power to save those you love." Mace Windu's eyes met Anakin's across their locked blades. "He's lying, Skywalker. The dark side shows you what you fear to control you. Padme isn't dying. This is manipulation." "You don't know that." Anakin's voice rose to a shout. "You've always held me back, doubted me, feared my power, but the Chancellor believes in me. He sees what I can become." "He sees a weapon," Batman's voice cut in, calm and analytical. "Anakin, I've studied dictators across human history. They all use the same tactics. Find someone powerful and vulnerable, promise them everything they desire. Make them dependent on your guidance. You're not his apprentice, you're his tool." "You know nothing about me," Anakin snarled. "I know you love your wife," Batman continued. "I know you do anything to protect her. But ask yourself, how did Palpatine know about your visions? How did he know exactly what to offer? He's been in your mind, Anakin, planting fears, nurturing them, preparing you for this exact moment." Doubt flickered across Anakin's face. No, he's my friend. I am your master," Palpatine's voice thundered. "Together, we will rule this galaxy. The Jedi will die, the Republic will become the first Galactic Empire, and you, Lord Vader, will be my enforcer. Your wife will live, your children will thrive, and order will reign eternal." Children. Palpatine had said, children. Plural. Anakin's eyes widened. He'd told no one about the pregnancy, except Padme. Not even Obi-Wan knew. But Palpatine knew. Palpatine had always known. Which meant he'd been in Anakin's mind, reading his thoughts, manipulating his emotions. Everything, every conversation, every piece of advice, every moment of seeming friendship had been orchestration. "You..." Anakin's voice was hollow. "You were in my head all this time." "I saved you from the Jedi's chains," Palpatine screamed, his composed mask finally shattering completely. "I gave you purpose, power, a path to greatness, and this is how you repay me? With doubt?" Superman, still holding against the lightning storm, saw the moment Anakin chose, saw the young Jedi's blade disengage from Windu's, saw him turn toward Palpatine with eyes full of betrayal and rage. "You used me," Anakin said quietly. "You used my love for her as a weapon. You made me betray everything I believed in. And you'll continue to serve," Palpatine spat, "or I'll ensure Padme dies screaming your name, cursing you for your weakness." Anakin Skywalker's blue blade ignited fully. "No, you won't." He struck. Palpatine's force barrier deflected the blow, but the Sith Lord had been maintaining his lightning storm, had been wounded by Windu, had been fighting multiple opponents for minutes. Even his vast power had limits. Mace Windu's purple blade came from the left, Anakin's blue from the right. Superman, freed from defending against lightning, moved with Kryptonian speed from above. Wonder Woman's sword flashed from below. Green Lantern's constructs enclosed from all sides. Darth Sidious, the most powerful Sith Lord in a millennium, faced 6 opponents with the strength of gods. For 3 seconds, he held them all at bay through sheer mastery of the dark side. Then Mace Windu's blade found his heart. Palpatine's scream shook Coruscant's foundations. Dark side energy exploded outward in a death throes that shattered every window in 50 levels. His body convulsed, yellow eyes blazing with hatred and disbelief. "Impossible," he gasped. "I foresaw victory." "You foresaw a galaxy where we didn't exist," Superman said quietly. "You couldn't account for variables from outside your universe." Palpatine's body crumbled, flesh withering as the dark side consumed him from within. In seconds, only robes and ash remained, scattered by Coruscant's winds. The Dark Lord of the Sith was dead. But the cost had only begun. The Jedi Temple burned. Not from clone trooper attacks. Batman's counter-signal had worked, giving enough clones a moment's hesitation to realize the horror of what they'd nearly done. But from the battle's collateral damage, from explosions and plasma fire, and the violence necessary to survive. Yoda stood amid the ruins, surrounded by younglings and Padawans who'd lived because 7 strangers had fallen from the sky. The ancient Grand Master's face was carved from grief, but his eyes held something else. Hope, tentative and fragile. "Survived, we have," he said, his voice carrying across the assembled Jedi. "But changed, we are, forever marked by this night, betrayed by those we trusted, saved by those we barely knew. Learn from this, we must." Obi-Wan Kenobi stood beside him, watching as Republic medical frigates landed to treat wounded clones, men who remembered pulling triggers, remembered executing their Jedi generals, and could barely live with the memory. "The clones aren't responsible," Obi-Wan announced to the gathered Jedi. "They were slaves to programming. We will treat them as victims, not villains." Commander Cody approached, his helmet removed, his face haunted. "General Kenobi, I tried to kill you. I aimed my weapon at your back and you hesitated," Obi-Wan interrupted gently. "For 3 seconds, you fought the programming. That hesitation saved my life. You're still my friend, Cody. You're still my brother in arms." The clone commander's eyes glistened. Around them, other clones and Jedi had similar conversations. Apologies. Forgiveness. The beginning of healing that would take years, perhaps generations. Batman watched from a temple balcony, cowl retracted, exhaustion evident on Bruce Wayne's face. Cyborg stood beside him, systems running diagnostic repairs on both their equipment. "We changed history," Cyborg said. "Across this entire galaxy. The Republic knows the truth now. The Jedi survived. The clones are being deprogrammed. And Palpatine's Sith cult is exposed," Batman added. "The Senate is in chaos, but it's democracy's chaos, not a dictator's order. They'll rebuild, They'll argue and compromise and slowly fix what was broken. You sound almost optimistic. I'm realistic. We stopped a genocide. That's worth something. Bruce's jaw tightened. But the war isn't over. The Separatists still control half the galaxy. The Republic military is in shambles. Billions will die before peace returns. We can help with that, Flash said, blurring onto the balcony. Superman's offering the League's assistance to the Jedi Council. Full support until the war ends and reconstruction begins. Batman nodded slowly. We didn't come here planning to stay, but we can't abandon them now. Below, in the temple's medical wing, Anakin Skywalker sat beside Padme Amidala's bed. She was healthy. There had never been anything wrong, just as Batman suspected. But Anakin held her hand as if she might vanish. You almost fell, Padme said softly. He almost turned you. I know. Anakin's voice was raw. I was so afraid of losing you that I nearly became the very thing that would have destroyed us. The Chancellor, Palpatine, played me perfectly. But you chose right. In the end, you chose right. Because Batman and the others forced me to see clearly. Anakin looked at his mechanical hand, flexing the fingers. I need to learn from this. Really learn. The Jedi were right about attachment leading to fear, but they were wrong about connection being weakness. I need to find balance. Obi-Wan entered, relief washing over his features. Padme, thank the Force you're safe. Thanks to your interdimensional friends, she replied. Obi-Wan, what happens now? The Chancellor was the head of state. The Senate has no clear successor. The military command structure is fractured. We rebuild, Obi-Wan said simply. The Senate will elect new leadership. The Jedi will help, but as advisors, not generals. We've learned that lesson at least, and the Justice League has agreed to remain until we're stable. Anakin stood, squaring his shoulders. I want to help too, not as a warrior or a general, as something else. Someone who talks to both sides, who helps negotiate peace rather than wage war. Ambassador Skywalker, Padme smiled. I like that. It suits you, Obi-Wan agreed. You've always been better with people than with following Jedi orthodoxy. In the Senate building, hastily converted to an emergency command center, Wonder Woman coordinated relief efforts with Mon Mothma and Bail Organa. The princess-turned-diplomat worked tirelessly, her Amazon training in governance proving invaluable. Your people have a queen, Mon Mothma asked during a brief respite. Queens, plural. We're a matriarchal society, Diana smiled. But leadership is earned through wisdom and service, not birthright alone. Perhaps the Republic needs similar reforms. You speak like someone who's rebuilt societies before. I've watched empires rise and fall for 3,000 years. The ones that survive learn from their mistakes rather than repeating them. Diana gestured to the holographic displays showing separatist territories. Your greatest challenge isn't military, it's ideological. The separatists had legitimate grievances. If you simply crush them without addressing the corruption and centralization that drove them to war, you'll face this again in 20 years. Bail Organa nodded thoughtfully. The Justice League has given us more than military support. You've given us perspective, ideas we hadn't considered. Green Lantern flew patrol with Kit Fisto, scanning the system for any separatist counterattacks. The Jedi's perpetual smile had returned, though tempered by the night's events. Your ring draws power from will, Kit Fisto observed. The Force draws from connection, different sources, but both require discipline and mental strength. When this is over, Hal said, when we find a way back to our universe, would you want to visit? See what a galaxy without the Force looks like? I'd be honored, though I suspect your galaxy has its own challenges. More than you'd believe, Hal laughed. But we manage. We always manage." Superman stood with Yoda on the temple's highest balcony, watching dawn break over Coruscant. The twin suns rose in tandem, painting the city in gold and crimson. "Saved the Jedi Order, you did," Yoda said. "Saved my people. Grateful I am, but wonder I do. Why? Risk your lives for strangers. Why would you?" "Because it's what we do," Superman replied. "Where we come from, we protect people, all people. It doesn't matter if they're from Earth or Krypton or a galaxy we reached by accident. Everyone deserves a chance to live free from tyranny. Heroes you are, true heroes." Yoda's ears lifted slightly. "But heroes often pay terrible prices for their nobility. Worry, I do, what price you may yet pay." Superman thought of home, Lois, the Daily Planet, Metropolis, Earth. They'd been gone for days now. His absence would cause problems. Batman had already calculated the social and economic disruption 7 missing Justice League members would create. "We'll find a way back eventually," Superman said. "But until then, we'll help where we can. It's not a burden, Master Yoda. It's a privilege. Wise beyond your years you are, or perhaps wise because of them." Yoda smiled, ancient and warm. "Changed this galaxy is. Your arrival, no accident I believe it was. The Force works in mysterious ways. Perhaps sent you here, it did, because needed you, we did. Or maybe it's just chaos," Superman countered gently. "Random chance and quantum mechanics. But if we were sent here, I'm glad we arrived when we did." Flash joined them, vibrating with characteristic energy. Batman found something, a separatist database reference to a dimensional cascade that hit their sensors the same moment we arrived. He thinks he can reverse engineer the effect, use it to get us home. "How long?" Superman asked. "Weeks, maybe months. The technology here is advanced, but different from ours. He'll need time to adapt it." Superman nodded. "Then we have time to help, to make sure the Republic doesn't fall into another dictatorship. To give the Jedi a chance to become what they're meant to be." Aquaman emerged from a turbo lift, looking somewhat refreshed despite the night's battle. "I've been speaking with Mon Calamari refugees, ocean dwellers, like my people. They've offered to host me while we're here, show me their world. I accepted. Making friends already?" Flash grinned. "Making connections. When we leave, I want this galaxy to remember that we didn't just fight their war. We learned about them, respected their cultures, left them better than we found them." Batman approached last, cowl down, his expression as unreadable as ever. "The Senate wants to give us medals, public ceremony, full honors." "You say that like it's a problem," Flash said. "It's theater. Politicians trying to associate themselves with our victory." Batman's voice was flat. "But we'll attend, show unity, let them have their moment." "Cynical as always," Wonder Woman chided, joining the group. "But Bruce is right. We attend. We smile. We let them celebrate. Because people need hope right now. They need to believe things can get better." Cyborg manifested through a holographic projector, still recovering from the strain of hacking an entire galaxy's military network. "I've been analyzing the cultural databases. This galaxy has thousands of years of recorded history, empires rising and falling, civilizations destroyed and reborn. It's humbling. It's a reminder," Superman said, "that no victory is permanent. No peace is guaranteed. Every generation has to fight for justice, for freedom, for the right to exist without tyranny." Yoda tapped his stick against the floor. "Words of wisdom these are. Remember them. The younglings will. Remember the strangers who fell from the sky and saved a galaxy. Legend you have become. But more than that, example you have set." The Justice League stood together on that balcony, 7 heroes from another universe who'd stumbled into genocide and chosen to stop it. They didn't know when they'd get home, didn't know what consequences their absence was causing in their own reality. But they knew they'd made the right choice. Below them, Coruscant began to rebuild. Clone troopers worked alongside Jedi to clear rubble. Senators argued about constitutional reforms. Citizens mourned their dead and hoped for peace. And across the galaxy, on 1,000 worlds, Jedi who'd survived Order 66 by seconds, by the hesitation Batman's counter-signal had provided, returned to their missions with new purpose and renewed commitment. The war would continue. The Separatists wouldn't surrender overnight. Reconstruction would take years. But for the first time in 3 years of brutal conflict, the galaxy had genuine hope. All because 7 heroes chose to care about people they'd never met, in a galaxy they didn't belong to, fighting a war they hadn't started. That, Yoda reflected, was the essence of true heroism. 3 months later, the Justice League stood before a boom tube generated by captured Separatist technology, reverse-engineered by Batman, modified by Cyborg, and powered by an energy signature that resonated with the dimensional rift that had brought them here. The Jedi Council assembled to see them off. The younglings they'd saved gave them drawings and holocrons containing messages of gratitude. Clone troopers, now volunteers in a reformed Republic military, saluted with genuine respect. Mon Mothma and Bail Organa promised to remember their lessons about democracy requiring eternal vigilance. Anakin stood with Padme, his hand on her growing belly. "You saved more than the Jedi," he said quietly. "You saved my family, my future." "You saved yourself," Superman corrected. "We just gave you a moment to see clearly." Obi-Wan embraced each of them in turn. "May the Force be with you, wherever your journey takes you." Yoda approached last, his ancient eyes twinkling. "Return someday, perhaps you will. But even if not, remember we shall. In our archives, in our teachings, in our hearts. Proof you are that the Force connects more than one galaxy, perhaps connects all things everywhere, across all realities." Wonder Diana knelt before the Grand Master. "It was an honor to fight beside you." "Honor was mine," Yoda replied. "Now go. Your world needs you, as ours needed you. But know this, friends you have made, allies across the stars. Forget us not." "Never," Flash promised. The boom tube activated, its swirling vortex promising passage home. The Justice League took one last look at the galaxy they'd saved, at the Jedi Temple being rebuilt, at clone troopers and Jedi training side by side, at a Republic learning to be more than it had been. Then they stepped through, leaving behind legend and returning to their own reality's challenges. In the archives, a new holocron recorded their story. Future Jedi would study it, debate its implications, and wonder at the impossible truth that heroes could come from anywhere, even beyond the boundaries of their universe. The Clone Wars would continue for another year before the Separatists surrendered to a Republic reformed by the Justice League's influence. The Jedi Order would survive, transformed by the knowledge that their greatest threat had come from within, from trust misplaced and warnings ignored. And on quiet nights, when younglings asked how the Order survived, Masters would tell them about 7 strangers who fell from the sky and taught the galaxy that heroism transcends reality itself. The Force had brought them when they were needed most. And when the crisis passed, the Force let them go home. But the bonds forged in that desperate fight, between universes, between ideologies, between heroes separated by the very fabric of space-time, would endure forever. Some legends, after all, are too powerful to be forgotten. May the Force be with you. More stories await.